Hey Jabbers, welcome back. Okay, we've got lots to talk about today because I have heard a lot. Well, I have experienced, and I think we've also heard online a lot of frustration with coming from couples, but also coming from wedding planners as maybe other vendors where we are having to fill out a gazillion forms from all these different vendors, essentially asking all of the same questions. And I want to talk about it because I think couples, depending on obviously what package they're hiring their planners for, are having to fill out a lot of things. And on the flip side, if we're hired for full service planning, we don't want our couples to receive all of these forms. That's part of the package. That's part of what we're offering, is to alleviate all of this stuff from them and making it a little more simplified. So how, Kari, have you experienced this? How would you approach it? Do you even tell a vendor ahead of time, like, please only send me the forms? But I know a lot of things are automated and they just go out. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so I did have this happen recently this year with a client where the photographer, like, everything was done. They had their final call with the couple, like the shot list was sent to them. They had all of the details. I had sent the timeline. But then they had an automated email go out that was like, fill out our wedding day questionnaire. And I was just so annoyed. And I knew it was automated, but I filled it out and I was just, because there were like a few things unanswered, which was fine. But I was just very annoyed because I'm like, you literally have all of this information already.
Right.
And so that's where I'm like, you need to do the due diligence of like, I need to take off this automated email for this client because we already have it all. And my assistant can input this information however you're managing that process. But to like have our clients or even the planner like basically fill out something that feels very redundant, it's such a waste of our time. And I just wish people were more diligent on their automated emails going out.
Agreed.
Because even my client was like, we already sent our shot list.
Yes.
Like, and then they're confused and they're annoyed because they're like, we already did that. Like, are they? And it makes them almost question if they can trust them. Yeah, because they're like, do they not have it? Like, we already talked about this in detail. And I'm like, no, it's just an automated email. I'll follow up with them. And I think that's where like vendors don't realize that clients are sort of like starting a little bit of distrust of being like, are they going to show up on time? Do they know like what we talked about? Are they going to remember that, you know?
Well, I feel we've had this conversation where when you get to a certain level of luxury, we are almost going back to one email at a time. I've unscheduled a lot of things. Like, I don't use Honeybook anymore. I haven't used it in years, but that was one of my biggest pet peeves, was everything was automated, but sometimes something needed to be tweaked and you had to go and edit the whole workflow for this client, and I was like, you know what? Instead, I would like to just send it. Now, I get it. Our brain capacity, we need to have a better system for reminders, and maybe you have stuff on your Google Calendar and whatnot. But I will also say that with AI, and like I use Claude Cowork, that thing can prepare all of these drafts. And I actually have it right now in my inbox. So I have a draft for every single client for their 60. So some specific clients at a certain venue, I have to email the venue 60 days before to ask if we can have the rehearsal there the night before the wedding, because they can't promise anything. So I have all of those clients drafted and ready to go. And I just click send when it's time. And then I also have pre-drafted emails for my offboarding for all of my clients. And that was all done by Claude Cowork, because I basically told Claude, I said, go into my Notion portal, find all of the clients, gather all of their information, and create all of these draft emails with like the following information.
Yeah.
And so there are ways, and I feel like it's going to get better, but I also think there are vendors that are set and they're not going to touch their automations. And I agree with you. It makes it look like we are less supported than we actually are.
Because I always have like a final timeline questionnaire as well of certain things, but it like really depends on the client, because sometimes I would have meetings with clients and all of those questions would get answered. And so I'm like, I don't need to send this specific questionnaire out, or I need to send out an edited version of it if there's still specific things that we haven't talked about. But I'm like, I don't want them to be like, answering a family shot list or like, tell me about, things going on in your family that I should be aware of if we've already talked about it. Cause they're just going to be like, well, we talked about that on a call the other day. So yeah, it's annoying and frustrating for our clients and for us as planners when those systems just seem very redundant.
Yeah. And if, again, I go back to AI, just because it's something that I've kind of really trying to use to my advantage these days, I have it go through all of my meeting notes, and it's able to go into my Notion portal where I do have questionnaires for each couple that's internal, and it fills all that out based off of conversations that we've had, me and the client, me and a vendor. Like if the Gemini notes came back with our photographer call and it said, great, I'll be there at noon, then my Claude knows to go get that 12 o'clock time and put it on the timeline. Like it's been done, like it's done. And I think there's so much potential to really link all that and to make sure that, yeah, emails don't get missed, or the information that we put in an email because we have time to do it ahead of time for a certain client, but it doesn't coincide with when the questionnaire is being sent out. It would be nice if that could get pre-filled, and maybe the questionnaire becomes, hey, we only have 2 questions for you that haven't been answered yet based on our previous conversations. But then also maybe sharing like, here are the answers to the other questions. Is this all still correct? Like that's okay, because things do change, but why not ask?
I feel like, Gabby, you need to have a session talking about your Claude workflow right now, because I'm very impressed by what you're saying.
Well, Kari, do you know why?
Hours of time. Maybe, maybe you already did this on your YouTube channel for
no, I haven't touched it, but that's a great idea. I should do a sequence. But it's all thanks to the Abundance Group, as we know, because Ashley did do a deep dive into AI in the last year, and in our in-person retreats. This last one, we were in Minneapolis over the summer, and so we did a workshop where we built things in Claude. And so I pay for the $20 a month Claude. And you guys, you know what? I should do a couple YouTube videos about it, and we could post it on our Substack or something like that. But these simplest things, and I have these little skills that are in my Claude every morning at 8 a.m. It goes and it does some stuff for me. And it's quite amazing.
Yeah, I feel like you're very organized.
Well, I have to tweak it. I do have to tweak it because sometimes it doesn't give me what I need, but yeah.
So I think this is a good segue to talk about, I know you had mentioned to me prior to this recording that like Prism and just like different CRM systems of like what's popping up on the market, what you're using. And you had said, I wonder if someone's going to create something that's going to solve all our problems. So I want to hear what your thoughts are and what your problems are.
Well, yeah. Well, this is exactly it, right? Because we are all different types of vendors using different platforms. But when are we going to have one that meets all of our needs? And like my thought is we have one single client portal, right? So like Kari and Jeremy Smith's wedding. All the vendors log into that portal and they have everything they need. Like the DJ has whatever they need for photo stuff or for music stuff. There's the timeline, there's the layout, everything's accessible. I know catering is different because they need to put together a menu. So that is where it's like, I don't know if this will ever be possible, but I'm just like, and I guess the big question is like, who pays for it? Because does every vendor just pay every time they're added to a project? Maybe. I mean, you guys, this is an idea that has been said here first. I would like credit and 20% of royalties if this comes to fruition. But it's just, it goes back to this whole like the thing with Prism, all seated became Prism, that became Cvent. I don't know if you've tried to use it since.
Wait, Prism has now become Cvent? Oh, I didn't know that. The last I knew.
It's a disaster.
Yeah, okay.
It's a disaster. Cvent is a corporate meeting planner database that you can do layouts, but it's so not user friendly in my opinion. I don't like it at all. So I've left completely, and I am using this new program that's in beta, but I think you'll start to hear about it soon. It's called Juno. You can't Google it. It's not online. They don't have a public website. They've just allowed me to access it to test it out. And with other planners are playing with it. It does have pretty much everything that Aisle Planner has had. It's more user-friendly, in my opinion. The layout is very similar to what All Seated used to be, but you can even do better measurement. Like things are just a little bit better. And what I loved about it's a couple that built it, and I've had one-on-one calls with them to give them my feedback. And I say, I don't like this. I wish this had this. And literally within a week, they've made those edits. So that's what I'm talking about. I'm like, we need someone to hear, have a roundtable discussion with all the vendors and say, what do you guys really need? And how can we make this? Because I just think it goes back to this, like many, many forms and questionnaires and stuff. Like, can we just all log into one place and get the information we need?
Yeah, because I think even with a lot of clients that I use Aisle Planner, but then like if a venue or a catering company they usually, I feel like, had Prism. And so then they would send me their login there. But I'm like, well, I don't want to create my layouts in there because our guest list is linked in Aisle Planner and it's easy for them to create a seating chart. So it's like this whole thing. I mean, usually the venue is like, that's fine. Just send us your layouts later and you don't have to use Prism. But it is kind of convoluted. It's like, which one do we use? You know, like this is easier for my clients because this is where all our information is. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it just feels like we're doing a lot of unnecessary duplicate work, you know? And it does drive me crazy when venues are kind of leading this where they're saying, we need your final documents X number of days before, right? Okay. But then it doesn't match up with the final deadline for the DJ's music or the shot list. And so we're missing information. We're chasing people. Forms aren't filled out. It's never a very easy thing. And I feel like I haven't thought about it in a long time because I'm so used to going through this misery 2 weeks before the wedding. But it is.
Trying to join everyone's platform that they're using. Yeah. I know. There's just a lot of options. I think the biggest frustration with any sort of CRM system is I feel like a lot of people have the same complaints, but I don't know anything about doing that on the back end as an engineer. I just feel like sometimes it takes forever to implement something new. And I don't know if maybe I'm sure there's a lot of steps they have to take to get it approved. But I feel like when you have a majority complaint about something, it seems like you would fix that so more people would use your software.
Agreed.
Right? You left so many different platforms because you're like, they just didn't have the features that I wanted and weren't updating their platform.
Right. I'm shocked, Kari, that you're still on HoneyBook. And I know it's because you were grandfathered in.
Because it's free, that's why.
Right. Yeah. I'm shocked. I'll talk to the couple that's designing this other one to see if you could come in as a beta user because I actually think you would really enjoy it.
Yeah. I mean, HoneyBook is very, it's truly contracts and
that's true.
Invoicing. I don't do anything else in there.
That's true. That's true.
But yeah, I mostly use Aisle Planner and even I have a lot of gripes with Aisle Planner, but yeah.
It's just kind of archaic to me. But anyway,
I
digress. But no, I'm glad we chatted about this. I think it's just overall frustrations that we still deal with. And again, this is stuff that our clients, they're going to experience the disconnect when they receive 12 forms and questionnaires from different vendors. And we're over here trying to fight the vendors and say, please just send to us, or we already sent you this. So it's tough because it makes us look bad and we're just trying to get ahead of it. So again, it's just really, I'm leaving this with an open-ended question. What can we do? What new program can help put this all together?
Yeah. How do we get on the same page?
Yeah. Or maybe I'd like to get all the links to all the forms ahead of time. Everybody send me your links now and I will create one document that answers every question.
Yeah. I'm or here's my timeline. You let me know if there's anything unanswered.
Seriously.
Have a good day.
For real. I would love that, but I don't know.
Put the work on them, Gabby.
Yeah. You know
here's
what?
All the work I've already done. You take a look at it and see if I have not answered a question of yours.
You know what, Kari? Yeah. New me.
Like
No more
here's
nice.
the timelines, the layouts, parking information, whatever, documents we would send. I just feel like you thoroughly look through this and then let me know if I haven't answered a question.
They can literally put it in Claude with their form in Claude and have Claude fill it out for them.
Yeah. Look at all of the free business tips we are giving out today.
Brilliant. We're brilliant.
Oh, Gabbers, thank you for supporting us and listening to us gab. But I don't know. I think, it's like refining our processes, right? And hopefully, Gabby, your idea takes off here and we get a CRM system built for everyone.
I'd love that. Bring the people together. All right, guys. Well, that's enough jabbing on the jab, jabbing on the gab. Anyway, thanks so much for joining us today. We will see you over on Substack. If you're not already a member, we'd love to have you there. We could talk more about AI stuff that I've created if you're interested. And then we will catch you next week for another episode. Bye.
Thanks for being here. Bye.